Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my 10 streams of income. This video has been requested a couple of times, so I figured I would go ahead and make it. Now, I do want to make it clear that I don't want this YouTube channel to go down the path of talking about business or how to make extra income. Like, I'm happy to talk about income, of course, but I am not a business YouTuber or a side hustle YouTuber, anything like that. So I'm going to be sharing my experience with these sources of income. Like I said, I do have 10 at this point. Of course, I'm going to talk about why I got into these things or how I got into these things, but I thought it would also be helpful for me to share, basically to rank the difficulty of getting into those sources of income or earning from those sources of income, as well as the potential, the earning potential. So I will be ranking those on a scale of 1 to 5. So 5 being the most earning potential and 5 being the most difficult. I also will break down kind of the cost of getting started with these things. I will say right now, though, that the bulk of them you can start for little to no money. Having multiple streams of income is something that's always been important to me. I think that everybody should have multiple streams of income, just because if you're relying on one source and you lose that one source, then a lot of chaos can occur in your life. I can't remember when I first heard this metaphor, but it was compared to a table. If you have a table that is standing on one leg or one source of income, and you chop that leg off or you lose that source of income, you no longer have a table. You know, it completely falls over, it's on the floor. But if you have a table with 4 legs or with 6 legs and you chop one of those legs off, then you still have 3 legs or 5 legs to fall back on, and it might be a little bit shaky, but the table will still be standing. And that's exactly the same idea with multiple sources of income. So even if it's just a little bit here and there, that is still more beneficial than just having one. Of course, it's going to take time to have multiple sources of income, and you definitely don't need 10. I think having 2 or 3 is great. The other thing too is just having some extra cash on the side allows you to cover certain bills. I really like to look at it from that perspective. So if you can make an extra $50 or $100 in the month, that is like, oh, I can cover 2 gas trips, or that covers a grocery shopping trip for me for the month, and that can go a really long way. Or it's really nice to take the approach of any extra income on top of your main source of income is either being saved and invested, or that could be your fun money. I've seen people do that as well, where, you know, it's kind of like guilt-free spending, and then your main source of income is obviously paying for all of your necessities, investing, saving, that sort of thing. I'm going to go through these 10 sources of income from highest earning to lowest earning. Keep in mind that these things change on a monthly basis, aside from like one of these, but literally every single month I make a video of where all of my money comes from and how much I make from it, including my full-time job. So if you're ever curious about what I made, you know, several years ago, or what I make in a certain month or during a specific time of year, I do make an income report video every single month. All right, so starting with my first income stream, that would be my full-time job. I am a Salesforce consultant. If we look at my base salary plus what I receive as a bonus, which that comes just one time a year, I am grossing $6,130 per month, or about $73,500 per year. Again, that is gross earnings. I do have some other perks as well, so I have a company match for my 401k, but I'm not gonna count that here. Now, I have not been a Salesforce consultant for all of my career, and by the way, I am 30 years old, so I've been working for about a decade at this point. I actually went to school for biology. I got my master's in biology, and I was a microbiologist for 4 years until transitioning to Salesforce. I have multiple videos talking about Salesforce, including why I decided to make the change. Briefly, though, I will say that I first heard about Salesforce through my favorite finance podcast, which is Choose FI. They were talking about a program called Talent Stacker. I do have my referral to Talent Stacker now. It's very full circle at this point. But yes, I signed up through Talent Stacker, and that is how I first started learning about Salesforce. And my main motivators for making this career change was I wanted to make more money, I wanted to work remote, and I wanted to switch to something that did not require me to invest a lot of money or go back to school whatsoever. So that was Salesforce for me. As far as getting started with a career in Salesforce, I would say that can be $0. That can be completely free because Salesforce offers Trailhead where it's completely free of charge. Just Google Salesforce Trailhead. You can sign up today. Like I said, it is free, and then you can work through various modules. But it is important to maintain a certification. Usually that's going to be the admin certification, which is $200 the first time you take it. If you fail, it would cost $100. If you fail again, it would cost $100, so on and so forth. I failed a couple of times, so that was like a few $100s of an investment to pass the exam. And then Talent Stacker is obviously optional. I decided to sign up with it, so that was a couple $1,000s. And it's a program that helps you transition into the Salesforce space, including studying for the certification. You get to do like a mock project. They help you with networking. They help you with your LinkedIn, that sort of thing. So for me, it was something that did end up being helpful and worth it. So overall, the investment is $0 to a couple $1,000s. Like I said, I am a Salesforce consultant, and I would say I am underpaid. I make less than other people in doing the same job that I do. You could also be a Salesforce administrator. You could be a Salesforce developer, an architect. There are so many different career paths that you could take with Salesforce. I decided to do consulting so that I could learn things really, really quickly. And I was hoping to go from this lower income to a higher income, but I realized that it was much more difficult to find a second job. However, I know that the potential is there because I'm still connected with people who are in the Talent Stacker program that they joined when I joined, or even people who have joined more recently, and they are making well over six figures. It's just been hard for me to do that. So I would say the earning potential of being a Salesforce consultant on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most potential, is like a 3 to 3.5. I would say at a minimum, you're going to be making $60K, but I've seen people making $130K and potentially more as a consultant. I just haven't seen that myself. And then as far as difficulty goes, getting into this career, I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5, where again, 5 is being the most difficult. And this has definitely changed throughout the last couple of years. When I first got started, it was difficult to land a Salesforce job. I had many interviews and it took months for me to get a job. But now it's even more difficult. So Salesforce itself is easy. I would say once you're actually working in Salesforce, building in it, it's easy to get, easy to comprehend, easy to learn. But getting a job is a little bit trickier. But I think once you're in, and if you actually want to do this, if you do truly want to pursue it and you put in the effort, it is manageable. My second income stream would be YouTube, so YouTube AdSense or Google AdSense. And on a monthly basis, I'm making about $1,100 to $1,500, but sometimes over $2,000, just depending on the time of the year. And I can say that from 2023, I made about $16,500 for the whole year. The cost to get started, I would say this one could also be free. If you already have a phone or even just like a cheap camera, you could start by using that. I know back in the day, I started by using a camera that I already had, and then at one point, I was just using my phone. But obviously, if you wanted to invest in a little bit of equipment, I would say you shouldn't spend more than $500 to get started. Earning potential is a 5. Like, you can make so much money off of YouTube. Obviously, y'all know this at this point. Like, everybody knows this at this point. You could make millions of dollars from being a YouTuber, and that could literally just be from Google AdSense. So I'm going to give that a 5. Difficulty, I'm going to say 3.75 to 4. And the reason I have it so much higher is because it's been a challenge for me. I have been on YouTube since I was 17 years old, and I have tried a number of things. So when I first started, it was me and my sister. We were talking about like beauty things. That was the popular stuff back in the day. I then tried my lifestyle channel. I do still have that channel and I still post on that channel, but that's not what makes me the money. It's this channel. Once I started to niche down, and specifically being in the finance niche, is when I started to earn more from YouTube ad revenue. And even still, I feel like it's been difficult. Like, yes, up to $2,000 in a month is amazing from YouTube, but for how long I've been on YouTube and how much effort I have put into YouTube, the consistency, like just where I'm at, I feel like I should be further along. So for me, it has been more of a challenge. There are probably things that I could do better. I know there are things that I could do better. Like if I had more clickbait titles or different thumbnail styles or better editing. Like there's reasons for the really popular YouTubers that they grab your attention for a reason. It's just not something that I've been able to put in like 150% effort. So I am very grateful for what I earned from it currently. And I can't remember the exact stat, but it's something like 2% of people who have made YouTube videos earn money. And I don't remember the specifics around that. I'll try to find it and put it up on the screen. But I know many people attempt to make a YouTube channel, but often they will give up because they're not seeing results, or maybe they don't like it, whatever the case may be. But I think if you are disciplined around your content, aka being consistent with uploading, and you are just being yourself, and it's something that you actually want to pursue, I think it is well worth it. And this is an area that I definitely want to grow my income in. My third income stream is affiliate/sponsorships. I do like to combine these just because sometimes I'm signing like NDAs, or honestly, I don't pay attention too much to the contracts that I sign, but I just think it's best practice to not share exact numbers that I earn from specific brands, just to be cautious. So I started combining the two of these. This one varies a lot too. So I make anywhere from like $600 up to over $2,000 from affiliates and sponsorships combined on a monthly basis. And in 2023, I made about $16,000 from the two of them. It costs $0 to become an affiliate or get sponsors. You do have to have a platform though, so it just takes time instead of money. Having an audience is obviously important because it's going to be difficult to earn sales off of affiliate income if you don't have people to promote to. And then of course you're less likely to get sponsored content if there's nobody to promote to as well. As far as potential earning, I would give this a 4 out of 5. I'm not going to give it a 5 just because I find with sponsorships it's a little bit trickier, and I'll talk about that in just a bit. Difficulty, I'm going to give this a 3.75/4 as well, similar to YouTube, just because from my experience it has been a bit challenging to get to this point because you do have to grow your audience in order to get these opportunities. But on the other hand, I have seen some people who just have like a blog that they put links on and they earn hundreds of thousands of dollars from affiliate sales. And maybe it's not sponsorships, but they're making some sort of income by having traffic to their website or to their YouTube channel. Somebody clicks the link, makes a purchase, and then they receive a commission. That's an affiliate sale right there. If you watch this channel, then you are probably pretty familiar with the sponsorships that I've had here. My main sponsor is Mint Mobile, and I'm very grateful that that has been a continued relationship. I have also been sponsored by Talent Stacker. I'm also an affiliate of Talent Stacker, which has generated quite a bit of revenue for me. I do make some affiliate sales through Amazon, and then I have worked with a couple of other brands, so Intuit more recently, as well as Western Union. Now, the reason I give this a 4 out of 5 on potential scale is because I often get reached out to by companies that I just don't want to work with. Like my values don't align with what they're promoting, or it's not something that I would pay for, so I'm not going to promote it, There's even been times where at first I agreed to do it because I'm like, oh, that would be like a nice paycheck, But then I back out. So I definitely prefer to pick and choose who I work with, because if it's not relevant to what I'm talking about on this channel, like I'm not going to talk about it. And that happens more often than being contacted by brands that I actually want to work with. And I have tried to reach out to some of the brands that I want to work with. I could put in more effort on that front for sure. That's probably something I will do going forward. But for the most part, I'm being reached out to by brands that I don't want to work with. And hopefully that's something that changes as my subscriber count grows. But for now, it's been a little bit of a challenge, but definitely has gotten easier the more that I have seen my YouTube channel grow. Fourth income stream is Mediavine, and Mediavine are display ads on my lifestyle blog, livinglikeleila.com. So if you go to livinglikeleila.com, you'll see some ads on there, and that's through Mediavine. I usually make a couple $100s on a monthly basis, but I have made over $1,000 in a month from Mediavine. For 2023, I made about $3,500. Now, actually getting into Mediavine doesn't cost any money. That's not something you have to pay for. They're going to pay you if you're putting ads on your blog. But starting a blog, I would say costs less. You can start for free, really. but it is best to spend a little bit on hosting as well as a domain name. So this should cost you like less than $100 when you're getting started. Earning potential, this one also gets a 5. So high earning potential because I've seen other people do it, like where they're making a full-time, well over full-time earning from Mediavine alone because they have really popular blogs, which is incredible. Difficulty, 4.25. This was difficult. So in 2019, that's when I got into Mediavine, early 2019. So at the time, the requirement was having 25,000 sessions to your blog on a regular basis, so on a monthly basis. And now it is 50,000. I believe in order to get into Mediavine, you have to have 50,000 consistent sessions on a monthly basis. So 25,000 I know was hard for me. So 50,000 would be difficult too. Blogging was an area that I really wanted to grow in. So back in the day, like I remember in grad school, I wanted to be a blogger. Like that is what my passion was. And I absolutely loved writing. So if you go to Living Like Layla, you'll see so many blog posts because I loved it so much. I have recently, though, kind of steered away from that as this channel has grown, as I've really focused on my finance content. Because what I was writing about on Living Like Layla is like personal development, health, that sort of thing. And obviously, I've switched more to the finance space. I do have a blog for my finance stuff, so that is debtoverit.com. If you go to that, you will not see any ads because I would not be able to get into Mediavine at this point. I also probably will never do that. I don't want ads on my finance blog. I'm just going to keep that over on Living Like Layla because at this point, it's passive income. One day I would like to return to blogging more frequently, like writing on livinglikelayla.com because there is earning potential, but I just don't have the time or energy to do that right now. Sometimes people will email me or ask me for advice on starting a blog, and honestly, I'm just not the best person to ask for a lot of these things because as you can see, I'm ranking these pretty high on the difficulty scale because I've been working for years to have these things grow, and it has definitely taken years. And I feel like when I saw people on Pinterest and just all these people talking about how they were earning money online, it seemed so easy to them. Like they were, I don't know if they were lying or what the case was, but it just seemed like they were writing for 6 months to a year, and then they were on Mediavine or getting some sort of like sponsorship and affiliate sales and earning hundreds, thousands of dollars per month, and I just did not experience that really ever. But same idea with blogging. I think most importantly, you do need to niche down. You don't need to worry about like the aesthetics or the logo to start with. Like the content and the consistency is key, and make sure you have a newsletter as well. That will be helpful. Income stream number 5 would be coaching, financial coaching specifically. Sometimes I only make a couple hundred in a month from coaching, but sometimes it's over 1,000. This one definitely varies. In 2023, I made about $3,300 from financial coaching, and this year I am projecting to make quite a bit more than that. To get started, $0. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a laptop or like if you don't have a way to communicate with people through Zoom or something like that, then you may need to invest in that. But most people already have a phone, laptop, iPad, computer that you can start working with clients. But again, this is something that is easier to start if you have a platform, something that people can see that you're trustworthy, so they will be willing to pay you money to help them. Earning potential gets a 3.5 out of 5. I feel like there's not as much earning potential unless you can offer group coaching of some sort, or maybe if you can go to corporate companies and teach their employees. That is somewhere that I would like to take this at some point. But working one-on-one with clients, there's only so much time and energy in a day. Like I'm just one person. So I feel like the earning potential is a little bit lower here. Difficulty, I'm going to give it a 3. I feel like this one was a little bit easier for me to get started with. I did start by offering free coaching. If you remember back in 2020, I was offering free coaching. I had 4 people sign up. I worked with them for 3 months for free, and then after that I started charging a low rate, and since then I've increased a little bit, but even still I would say my rates are quite affordable. Many times I am asked, what sort of certification did you get to become a financial coach, or what sort of training? None. I did not pay for any certification. I am not certified in any way when it comes to finances. I have my experience though, and I obviously know quite a bit about finances because this is what I enjoy talking about, learning about. It's one of my greatest passions. I've experienced a range of things when it comes to finances, so I just use that. I use my experience to help other people. And then, of course, throughout the years, I have worked with many people, and I've learned a lot because of them. And that's something that just comes with time. If you look into getting started with financial coaching, you'll probably see like Dave Ramsey's certification course come up. And I remember back in the day, back in 2020, I was like, oh, maybe that's what I should do. But I don't align with what Dave Ramsey teaches. I think it's great that he wants people out of debt, but I'm not going to teach exactly as he teaches. I wanted it to be what I want, you know? I wanted my approach to finances where it's not so, you know, black and white. There's so many different ways. Personal finances are personal, so that is how I wanted to create it. So yeah, I wanted to make it very personable to me and to the client that I was working with. So that is the way that I approached starting that side of my business. And yeah, it's one of my favorite income streams. Next income stream would be account bonuses. And I would say this is, if I average it out for what I made in the year. So in 2023, I made about $2,800 from opening various accounts and getting the sign-up bonuses. So it was about $230 per month if you break it down that way. It typically doesn't cost anything to open these accounts, but you have, in order to qualify for the sign-up bonuses, you usually have to have a certain amount direct deposited or a certain amount of cash set aside so that you can put it into the new account so you get the bonus. But if you are paid via direct deposit from your company, then you should be able to start this. If you are able to log into a website where you can see your pay stubs and set up where you want your money sent to, so Gusto, Rippling, that sort of thing, then this is definitely a great option. And yeah, as you can see, I made a couple $1,000 in 2023, and it's basically passive income because it should just take like 10 minutes of your time to set up. Earning potential, this gets like a 2.5 because there's only so many accounts that you can open. So I would say that for a stretch of time, you can really get tons of bonuses, but then it's not something that you're going to be able to keep up with every single year. So maybe it's like a 1.5 to 2, honestly. Because like, will I make $2,800 this year from account bonuses? No, probably not. But a few hundred, yes. Difficulty is a 1, so not difficult at all. Each time it's taken me like 10 minutes to set things up. You just sign up, you get approved, you have your account open. I now have my account number, so I go into my payroll, put in that number. I make sure to set it up so I get enough direct deposit to qualify for the sign-up bonus, and then you get the sign-up bonus. It's super easy. These are checking and savings accounts, by the way, so there's no ding on your credit score when you open them. But you will want to be cautious and aware of the fees that come along with these accounts. Not all of them have it, but there's some that if you don't direct deposit a certain amount each month, or if you don't carry a certain balance, you'll be charged a maintenance fee. It's usually like $10 to $15. So I just make sure to hit that direct deposit requirement or maintain the balance that's necessary. And then after like 6 months of keeping the account open, you can close it. Next up would be credit card cashback, and this includes credit card sign-up bonuses as well as referrals. So same with the account bonuses on a monthly basis. I just broke it down based off of the year. So in 2023, I made about $2,600 from credit cards. So it's like $200 a month. Cost to get started is $0. Obviously, you do want to have a good credit score and you need to be responsible with credit cards. I never suggest this for anyone who has a spending problem or if you can't use them responsibly. This is for people who are interested in credit card hacking, credit card travel hacking, or just, boosting your income here and there. Earning potential, this one is also like 1.5/2, maybe 2.5, but it's another one where you're only going to be able to do so many throughout the year. And then difficulty, I would say it's like 1.5, a little bit more effort than it takes to open up the accounts. Plus it hits your credit score a little bit. So each time I open a new credit card, my score drops like a few points, but then by the following month, it's back up. When you open up a credit card for a sign-up bonus, you're usually going to have to spend a certain amount in a set period of time. So for example, spending $500 in the first 90 days. I've had one of my cards be spending $4,000 in the first 3 months in order to get a larger sign-up bonus. So it just varies from credit card to credit card. At this point, I don't even know how many credit cards I have, at least 10 of them, and I have a set few that I use on a regular basis in order to optimize my cashback. So I have a certain card that I use for grocery shopping, I have a certain card that I use only at Walmart, I have a card that I use only on Amazon, and that's why this one's a little bit more difficult than the account bonuses, because it does take more attention. Like, you have to pay attention to which cards are earning what, and make sure you're pulling out the right card when you go to the store, because otherwise it's a missed opportunity. But for me, it's become something I really enjoy. It's like a game, and I know not everybody sees it that way, but to me, it's well worth it. I don't carry any credit card debt on a monthly basis. I pay it all off. I never am paying interest on my credit cards. I absolutely love that I am making so much off of these banks, because I know that they're making so much off of interest, and they've made a lot of interest off of me back in the day when I did have credit card debt, so I am getting that all back and then some. Yeah, literally any purchase that I can make on a credit card, I will make on a credit card. My next income stream is Etsy, and this makes me about $100 to $200 per month. In 2023, I made about $2,000 from Etsy, and this was primarily from selling digital products, like digital downloads, specifically Google Sheets templates. More recently, though, I did start selling some finance stickers, and that's a physical product, so I started shipping those out, of course. Getting started with Etsy can be free. It depends on what you're selling, though. So if you're making something, then obviously that's going to cost you some money. If you're buying something to make, then you're going to have to pay for that, and then you can post. There are some fees with Etsy, like each posting you pay 20 cents, but you should be able to find somebody's affiliate link where you can get those fees waived for like the first 100 that you post or whatever. So this can definitely be very affordable to start. Earning potential, I'm going to give it like a 3.5 out of 5, because for me, it hasn't been that great of earnings, but it's kind of been passive. Like, I just made the product and then it continues to earn sales, which is great. But there are some people who make thousands of dollars per month, much more than what I make. So definitely a lot of earning potential depending on the niche that you're in. Difficulty, I give like a 2.75. So I don't really know why I gave it that number. For me, it's just something I haven't seen a lot of income from, and I would probably make more money if I promoted it more frequently, maybe ran ads, or maybe if I made more products available. But I would say overall, it's not too difficult to get started in. Obviously, my Etsy shop is focused on finance. So like I was saying, it's Google Sheets templates. You'll find like net worth tracker, a goal tracker for your finances, a debt avalanche or debt snowball tracker. And those actually made me more than I was expecting to make. When I first made some of those, it was very time consuming, especially the debt avalanche / snowball tracker that I have. That took me a couple of weeks, and then I posted it, and luckily it's been well worth putting in that effort. Next income stream would be high yield savings account interest, and this is usually about $100 or more on a monthly basis. But I know in 2023, this was like $1,500, $1,600, the bulk of that coming from Marcus by Goldman Sachs. That I do have a couple of high yield savings accounts, but most of my money is in Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Cost to get started, $0. If you're opening up a high yield savings account, make sure you open one that does not have a fee. So Marcus, like I said, I always have my referral link down below. Ally, Synchrony, those are all great options. Obviously, if you don't put any money into the high yield savings account, though, you're not going to earn any interest, so you have to put something in to get money back. So I would say a minimum of $1. But the more money you have in those accounts, the more you earn from interest. So earnings potential, I'm going to give this a 2.5. This also depends on the interest rate. So right now, and for the last couple of years, the interest rate has been quite high, so over 4%. But I know back during COVID, like during its peak, and even before that, the interest rate was like 0.4, 0.5, not making much. And then most of these are FDIC insured up to $250,000. So if you have like $200,000 in your high yield savings account, I can't even imagine what you're making. So I know last year for me, I had anywhere from like maybe $20,000 to $36,000 plus in my high yield savings account, and that's how I made over $1,500. Difficulty, a 1. Again, you open up your account, put some money in, and you'll get passive income. It's great. All right, and then my final income stream, number 10, would be from the various apps that I use. And this is like $20 to $25 per month, sometimes more, depending on when I get certain payouts. But for 2023, this was probably $400 to $500 for the full year. The cost of using these is $0, but of course you're gonna have to spend money in order to see these perks. So downloading the apps and using the apps doesn't cost any money, but you're gonna have to spend money to get cashbacks. The main one that I earn money from is Rakuten. That's a browser extension. You just download it to your browser and then you click get cash back, and if you go to certain websites you can get a certain percentage back. Ibotta, that's a coupon app, so you go shopping, then you come to the app and see which ones you can get cash back on. I use Fetch, you just scan your receipts, and I also use Upside, which anytime that I get gas, I check Upside and make sure that I'm getting cash back on the gas that I'm purchasing. I have all of my referral links linked down below, by the way. That's also how I earn money from them. So I use those apps myself, but also referrals. Earning potential, unfortunately, that's gonna get a 1, but the difficulty is also a 1. So super easy to use and to set up. I wouldn't say they're very time consuming. To me, they have been worth it. I like getting a little bit of extra cash here and there, but using these apps is not going to make you thousands of dollars in the year. I mean, I guess it could if you're spending, you would be spending way too much money to benefit that much from the apps. So I only use it when I am actually going shopping on those websites. I'm not going to be like, oh, there's 20% back at a store today, so now I'm going to go shopping on it. It's only when I happen to be shopping on the site, or if I do my grocery trip and then I see that, oh, one of the items that I purchase is also giving cash back on Ibotta, like then I'll scan it. So nothing crazy, but definitely helpful, and it just allows me to save a little bit more, you know, just an extra source of income, obviously, as this whole video has come together. There are some other ways that I've made income throughout the last few years. So I've sold courses, or I've sold things in my home, that sort of thing, but they weren't enough for me to mention in this video, or weren't consistent enough. You can also see that of my 10 income streams, there's a lot of overlap. So when you have a blog or a YouTube channel, you can also earn a lot from affiliate sales and sponsorships and referrals, that sort of thing. So once you get started in one of these areas, it's much easier to earn in another area. And obviously creating content online, like having a platform, has been very helpful with increasing my income streams. And I know that it's not for everybody, but there's also so many other options out there. Like we are in a day and age where there is just so much earning potential. Even if you don't want to be in the online space, like there are other ways to increase your income and have various sources of income. Let me know if y'all have any questions, and I would absolutely love it if you would share where you earn your income from. Like if you have multiple streams of income, please list those out. I would love to see it, and I think that would be helpful for other people to see what is possible outside of just online content creation. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.